Viewers, you're welcome to another episode of the Current Show, and so glad to have you join me. And I want to say a big happy Easter to our Christian colleagues out there. Easter is spectacular because it represents the death of our Lord Jesus Christ. I hope we have a wonderful celebration at this period. The Current is a program that promises to be very exciting. We give you current issues, analysis, I beg your pardon, based on current trends. On today's program, we'll be talking about the effects of safety on national development. And I have with me to discuss this the former Controller General of Federal Fire Service. Here is in the studio and is going to be talking to you about safety in its entirety and how it affects national development. But before we get to that point, we have the zonal chairman, Northwest, of Justice Must Prevail Party, Malam Aliu Saliu, who will be telling us a little about the party goals and what the party intends to achieve in the next few months before the election. Sir, you're welcome to this program.
Nice to have me.
Now, we want to understand, this party is also called the Oath-Taking Party. Now, the Oath-Taking Party, what's its significance to good governance in this country? What do we look forward to in oath-taking? We don't know, but people have taken oath and done worse things, so we want to know what will your oath do differently?
Yeah, thank you very much. The oath-taking is, the significance of the oath-taking is to guarantee selfless service to the nation. It's just like a soldier man on the battlefield with his gun. He's there to protect the interests of the nation. If there is a command for him, the mission must be accomplished, or he died. So that is the significance of the oath taking. If you here in the country, inside the country, as a civil servant, take the oath. It's like a soldier man on the battlefield with his gun. You are not allowed as a civil servant to take the oath and to take the gun, but you can take the oath to defend your country wherever you are serving. That is the significance of the oath taking, and it is another alternative to our EFCC, ICPC. People will do their work diligently without little or no policing. So,
how does this oath intend to checkmate people?
Yeah, you take the oath, you die. There is no oath in this country that you ever take and you are promised to die. It is only in JNPP party.
So if you misconduct,
if you dare break any one of the 12 pillars of oath, you are dead, you are gone. Let me tell you something. The party is seriously a kind of different party from any other party, not even here in Nigeria, not in Africa, not everywhere in the world. This is the only one party of this kind.
Well, that's fearful, but with the ongoing security challenges, especially the issue of the missing girls, which were later found, 1 10 missing, 1 4 and 5 died and all that, and also the Fulani herdsmen issues, the IPOB. Now, what does GNPP have to do, or what do they have to offer as regards security?
Yeah, very interesting. If you mention the Boko boys, the Fulani herdsmen, the IPOB, all the youth are in the center of everything. They were left stranded in the jungle of joblessness, whereby idle minds were being cultivated in an alarming quantity. So if you are doing anything to manage or to tackle security in this country, you must start with the youth. The youth, you must tackle the issue from the angle of youths. Let me give you an example. If we can borrow from what the former president of America, Franklin D. Roosevelt, did when he came to power, there was so much insecurity in the country, and even Americans by that time have went bankrupt. He created the organization called CCC, Civilian Conservative Corps. Youth ranging from 18 years upwards were being forcefully abducted by the government, you understand, to give them semi-military training, and on that process, they asked the youths, what do you do before you come to us? Or what are you willing to learn as a profession? Carpentry, anything, name it. They give the youth training on various fields. In fact, even pothole fillings. You understand? So that is being creative. So JNPP will invest heavily in human development, as in human resources development. You understand? We will put things right. We will not think the way our leaders, previous leaders think. We will borrow from some, very, very creative leaders around the world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malam Aliu Saliu,
Yes.
the zonal chairman of Northwest Justice Must Prevail Party. Thank you so much for being part of this program. We hope to see you guys more often. We'll take an announcement now. This announcement is coming from Chartered Institute of Treasury Management. They say they'll be having their quarterly training meeting, which is the theme of that program is Treasury, Understanding Treasury Management. We'll take that announcement now as they put up the announcement on the screen. The theme of the program is Treasury Management, and it's a mandatory continuous professional training program. It's going to be holding in Abuja, in Utako, and the fundamental things that will be done on that training is the fundamentals of training management, organization of operational structures of treasury functions to departments, mathematics of treasury management, cash and liquidity management in treasury operations, treasury management, security analysis, and portfolio management, management of treasury operations risk, treasury management system, and treasury technology. These are the things, the issues that will be discussed on that day, and the venue is at Green Mines Hotel. It's a formerly called Royal Tropicana Hotel at Utaku District, Jabi. Registration will be commencing from the 2nd of that May, that's next 2nd of next 2 months, at venue at 2 p.m. So the registration will commence 2nd, and the program is for 3rd and 4th. But registration will commence from 2 p.m. The announcer is the registrar, and the people who can attend are the treasury executives, forex dealers, accountants, dealers, operation managers in CBN, commercial banks, multinational companies, industry, manufacturing concerns, oil and gas chairmen of all relevant committee on both the Senate and the Federal House of Representatives, including State House of Assembly. And these are the people who will be expected to attend this program. It's a mandatory continuous professional training program, and it's organized by Chartered Institute of Treasury Management. They've been doing this program quarterly, and this is going to take place May in Abuja here. I hope to see you guys present at the program. We'll take a short break, and after the break, you don't have to take any step from your TV set right now, because the CG, former CG to Federal Fire Service is in the house. Don't go away. In case you're just joining us, this is the current, and we have been talking about, we're supposed to have been talking about effects of safety on national development, but we had a representative from Justice Must Prevail Party talk about the party's goal for the nation. But right now in the house with me is the former Controller General of Federal Fire Service, Engineer Olusegun Okebi-Orun, is present here to talk about the effects of safety on national development. Sir, you're welcome to this program.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. We'll start by saying, what do you think are the effects that safety can actually add, or would actually add, to national development?
Well, the impact of safety on national development is actually at the background, and people don't really appreciate it because of that. It's just like when you are secured, you don't appreciate security. But when there's danger, that is when you really appreciate what security is all about. The same thing happens to safety. Safety is about being in a state by which you don't have any incursion of any danger. And when you talk about an economy development is about the improvement in the economy, improvement in all the indices of the economy. And you look at things like the living standard of the people. I mean, that's the average way by which any citizen would measure development of the economy. The cost of living in that country, they look at that as an index. But there are other indices you have to look at. The GDP of a country, you look at that one, and then you look at the import and export values of the country, the exchange rate, all these, the interest rates, all these are things you look at when you talk of the development of the economy. You will never even think of what the fire service will contribute. But let me come in and tell you the real truth that the fire service, as it is, all over the world, contribute immensely to the economic development of a country. How do they do that? I've always said it, even while I was in office, that if there's an outbreak of fire anywhere, or there is a disaster anywhere, over an investment of about 100 million, and that disaster was stopped, maybe at about 10% level, which means about 10 million had been destroyed, and 90 is already saved out of that development. Now, if you have to refurbish that system, you might need just 10 million to do that. But if that place is completely destroyed by the disaster, it means you will need a minimum of that 100 million to bring it back to status quo. And in fact, you will need much more than that, because there will be a cost for demolition, a cost for cutting away, a cost for reconstruction. And by the time you get to where you were before, maybe you will have spent about 110 million. But look at it the other way around. Just only 10 million was destroyed. And maybe it only cost you about 11 million to bring it back to status quo. You have saved nothing less than 89, 90 million. That money is part of the virtual money that is generated into the economy. The generation is not tangible, but it's virtual, because you cannot really have a physical feeling of that generation. And that's the way the fire service all over the world generates the economy of any nation. If you look at the rate of fire outbreak in our cities, today, the statistics have said that billions of naira worth of houses and other property are destroyed annually in Nigeria. If those billions are not destroyed, and we can come back and say, okay, what we lost this year is just 500 million, and we have been able to save about probably 20, 50, 80 or more billions. That money is retained in the economy. Instead of looking for money to come back to status quo, you will not need that. You only need money to refurbish what was destroyed. And so that's how the fire service all over the world generate money into the economy. And let's look at about life, because safety is about lives and property. It's not just about property alone. Primarily it's about safety of life. It's about life. And if you look at the cost of a life, what is it? What is it worth? The Bible tells us that what will a man gain if he loses his life and gain the whole world? It simply means the life of one person is more than what the whole world is about. The Creator told us that He knows what it costs to create the whole world and what it costs to create a man. So He says the life of a man is worth more than the whole world. Therefore, if you have the whole world, it's not yet a life. And so if we are able to save 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 80 or more lives in a year, that's a lot of virtual investment for such a country. And I think if we look at it from that angle, we definitely need to invest in fire services. We definitely need to invest in all the infrastructures that are required for an efficient and proficient fire service in the country.
Recently, the federal government approved as much as approved the purchase of some fire vehicles, I think up to the tune of 4.6 billion. So do you think that this federal government, this present administration is doing enough as regards firefighting?
Well, I think I give kudos to the government of today in respect of the development of safety in this country, especially the fire service. You see, the fire service is a cost-intensive service. We have never seen it in the country that way, and so the investment in fire service had always been very, very inadequate. But since this government came in fact, I give kudos to the Honorable Minister of Interior that has taken it as a responsibility to ensure that the service comes up in terms of funding. And no government has ever, at least at the federal level, no government has ever developed this service as this present government. And I think the government deserves some kudos from all and sundry.
Okay, in 2017, there was an analysis, I think from the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, that 6 trillion worth of goods were lost in 5 years. So I hope we are looking forward to that figure coming down from 2018 to another 5 years. Now, looking at the investment in the sector, what do you think will happen to our goods, the loss of goods due to fire? Do you think that what we have on ground is enough to provide security and safety for Nigeria?
Well, like I told you, the government is trying very well. But you see, the investment in fire service does not yield dividend overnight. You want to talk about training of the staff, you want to talk about procurement of equipment, which cannot be done overnight. Maybe it takes you about 11 to 12 months to import vehicles. It's specified appliance. It takes you some time to do that. So the investments of the present government does not come into the fore immediately. But I assure you that very soon it will make an impact on the level of destruction that is done to our goods in this country. Yeah. And if I would tell you, the effort of the federal government alone is not enough. The state governments have a lot to do. Because when you talk of federal government, I mean, what can the federal government do when you talk of a DO country? When we have 36 states and the FCC minister? I think the state government also need to take a cue. At least those who have not done that. I know that some states have already done very well in those areas. Rural State, Lagos State, and some others. Kano State, they have done very well in those areas. But other states, you also take a cue from what their colleagues have done and what the federal government is also doing, and ensure that they invest more in fire safety. Fire is not, I mean, the safety in fire service is not just about fire service alone. It embraces all other disasters. All over the world, the fire service is responsible for a chunk of all the disasters. And that includes flood, earthquake, monsoon wind, collapsed buildings, fire outbreaks, and so on and so forth. The fire service is responsible for giving relief during such disasters. And so if we invest in all this, we are going to gain it.
I will speak for a common Nigerian that we are not feeling the impact of the fire service, yes. Even though we know that about 4.6 billion, sorry, I beg your pardon, I don't want to quote some figures out of proportion. 4.6 billion has been invested in 2017 and released by Fed. And if I open the phone calls now, you will get some knocks for the fact that nobody is feeling the impact of fire service. Can you explain that?
I've told you that if you invest in the fire service today, you don't get the dividend tomorrow. It's not going to be easy. Even if we have the paraphernalia of production in this country, they will still make a request to that factory and then they will go into production. So they cannot get what they are procuring immediately. Maybe, like I told you, another 10 to 12 months or more before those items come into the country. And so whatever the government has done in 2017, even if you are not feeling it now, you will soon feel it. Okay. I assure you that it couldn't have come earlier than now. When
do we intend or expect to feel the impact of
Well, I am not in the system. I don't know when all those things will be available. But I assure you that we have some of those things in the country. I was on the TV one day and I saw the Honorable Minister commissioning some equipment in Abuja. I was out of Abuja at that time. So I think those things are already coming in and they will start making impact. But the impact that federal effort will make is not enough. All the state governments should also come up and do the same in their states.
How do you suggest the federal synergizes with the states to do this?
How do I do what?
How do you suggest the federal fire service synergizes with the state fire service?
Well, there are procedures for synergy between the federal and the state. But you know, the federal cannot untwist the state on so many issues. In fact, if not on all issues, you cannot untwist the states. It's a federation. The states are a little bit autonomous, and so they have to take initiative at their hand. All we can do at the federal level is to encourage them and give them instances of reasons why they have to follow that path. And that is why we have the National Council on Fire, whereby we will meet together, we rub minds with the states, and then discuss issues at hand, problems at hand, and solutions to those problems.
When you were the CG, this what do you call it now? This conference you
Yes.
have yearly, what do you call it? Federal
National Council on Fire.
Council of Fire
Yeah.
was initiated. I remember in your time.
Yeah.
So far, in the last 2-3 years that you had this meeting, what did you come up with? What was that significant change that hit the states and the federal?
Well, I can say that some states are already coming up in the areas of providing infrastructure that are necessary. But if you look at them at the omnibus level, I will conclude that the states have a long way to go. The states, most of the states, many states, they have a long way to go. When you look at a state like Kaduna, that was the capital of Northern Region in those days, you see what they have today. I mean, it's not anything seriously to write home about. If you look at even my own state, Osun State, what they have is nothing to write home about. It's just like that all over the country. And so I think the states really need to put in more effort towards safety and ensure that the lives of people are safe.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for joining me on this program. You can also get involved in this program by calling our number. Our number will be displayed on the screen. Start calling in now. You can call us, that's our contact number, or go to our website, www.thecurrentnews.com.ng, www.thecurrentnews.com.ng. Start calling in now. Or you want to ask the CG any question, don't worry, ask him through me. You will get to hear it, and he will be here to answer you. For me and the crew of The Current, we say thank you for watching, and bye for now.